Hello, and welcome to a tutorial from Sarah Dawn's Designs. Today, you'll be learning how to cast on onto a set of double-pointed needles. First, take your total number of cast-on stitches and divide by 3, or 4, to get the number of stitches per needle. Add 2 or 3 to this number. Then, using the long tail cast on that amount of stitches. In this case, we're casting on 20 stitches on this needle, 18 stitches, plus an additional 2. Now, slip those additional 2 stitches onto the next double-pointed needle. Put the first needle down, and continue casting on until you reach the required number of stitches on the second needle. In this case, 18 plus, again, an additional 2. If you're looking for a video on how to do the long tail cast on, you can check out the tutorial link in the video at the top right, or there's also a link in the video description. You'll repeat this for the third needle, slipping your extra 2 stitches to the third needle, and then casting on however many stitches the pattern requires. In this example, we're casting on 52 stitches in total. Once you have all your stitches cast on, you need to join them in the round. First, make sure that your work is not twisted around the needle. Then, pick up the first and last needle. Make sure that your yarn tail, the end of the yarn that isn't coming from the ball, is out of the way. You don't want to accidentally knit with it. Next, knit the first stitch. This is fiddly, but it will work, I promise. Once you get the first stitch knit, pull on the working yarn to snug it up. Now, we're doing ribbing for this pattern, so purl the next stitch. Continue knitting and purling across the entire needle. For a more detailed tutorial on how to do one-by-one ribbing in the round, stay tuned to the end of this video, or check the link in the video description. Once you've worked across the first needle, do exactly the same thing across the second and third needles. Make sure, when you're switching needles, you keep your yarn at the back of the work to knit the first stitch on each needle. If you were purling the first stitch, you'd want the yarn on the front, but since we're knitting the first stitch, we want the yarn at the back. Snug up the working yarn after the first few stitches to avoid any gaps. And that's it! You'll keep working around and around in the stitch pattern, in this case one-by-one ribbing, until your object is as long as it needs to be. And you can see all the details of that in my next video. Thanks for watching, and happy crafting!